Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. United people, liberty together we always stand. Makerere, Makerere, we build for the future of free Makerere. We're great and mighty, the glory can rise. We're great and mighty. And I want to see. Who had the beautiful song, the Wewe song? The situation is alarming. Actually, the university is under siege by the fact that we have military barracks. Actually, we have two military barracks. We have one living at Livingstone. The situation is worsening. We are actually as if there is an emergency. New students. Right now there is a lot of bickering because everything that they are coming, the draconian electoral reforms, they are only targeting some of the candidates that are coming on board because they know there is a tuition policy that was passed, the 15% tuition increment, which is gradual for 5 years. And to some of us, we believe it is an injustice. To some of the comrades, the poor Ugandans that cannot afford this. And we all know education is a right. So what we say, we would want only to do one thing, is to revoke those policies. Maybe we can allow them to eat the other 15% of the other one they have already put on their account. But this time around, on the next coming intake, we can't allow that. We shan't allow that. So we are very annoyed as students, and we feel the public has to come in. We cannot do this alone. That's why we would want also to join the MOASA as our lecturers. We cannot attain whatever brought us to the university without the MOASA because they are our lecturers. So.
Some of us were here late October. The same situation like is happening now happened in this university. The university administration and the teaching staff were not in agreement. Students came out to demand their rights. We were not striking, we were demanding our rights. What happened was that the university was closed for 2 months and very many people were affected. Now, of course, someone was saying their finals, I too am the finalist. I'm someone who is handling my research, someone who is supposed to have lectures go on at the same time. So the moment you constrain my activities, even if it's for 2 hours, you will have affected me so much. So we asked our Vice Chancellor to learn from the past history and then sort out these small issues. If they are talking about the suspensions that are happening amongst their colleagues, then it should be sorted out as fast as possible, so that we as students can enjoy our rights. Then secondly, according to what we are reading here, these regulations, they are quoting Article 1 of the Game Constitution, subsection 3. But again, we also have the authority to defend our Constitution. However much most of the people did not buy his idea to boycott the elections, but I would buy it. Why? From June, as a House, we've had resolutions. We've been promised that they will be documented and they will take effect. But we haven't had anything positive from them. If anyone goes against what I'm saying, they will rise up. But that is evident from whatever we've been having in this room. We've had more than 85% of our seats. Therefore, I call upon all of us students that before this is rectified, we surely don't run under the same rules that we are saying we don't agree with. Because at the end, it won't make sense. These are regulations, we have the Constitution. So which of the two is running? That's the clarity that we should get, and then we have activities move on very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From there, I want to tell you that you cannot restore sand at the expense of the major stakeholders. There shouldn't be anyone telling you in media that the lectures are ongoing, we have no lectures. I, for one, at school of business, that is College of Business and Management Sciences, lecture rooms are closed, no timetable as yet. So, what are we doing here? Parents, guardians, and sponsors have paid already, but we are here wasting time. What are we waiting for? Let us all stand as one. Let us not be intimidated. Let us not go back into what we like divisions. The Guild President, the Speaker, and everyone concerned, let us be together for the common cause, and we shall fight. I told you I'm going to be brief. I was affirming to the media that we have no lectures here. Thank you.
Reasons to make strikes, as all honorables of this August House have expressed. Therefore, parents, potential employers know this, that we always have a reason to strike, and this time round, we also have a reason to strike, and we are going to strike. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. That's now I beg to submit.
Thank you. Honorable Hilary Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm
fortunate that me and you have chosen to take a civil route and try to engage the university administration in seeing that we have an amicable solution to whatever we are facing right now in our university. When you wrote to the dean and you expressed your dissatisfaction with the new rules, he simply rebutted, and he instead told you, if you're saying you had seen the regulations on social media, he was providing you with a copy. It is unfortunate that even I, when I wrote to the Vice Chancellor yesterday, the reply I have received is to thank me for writing, but nothing conclusive has been given as a remedy. Gallant Makererians, we have the following demands of the students' body. That one, we as the 84th GRC House are not willing to discuss the new regulations. We demand that the forthcoming guild elections are held in strict conformity with the guild election. That the new regulations are deferred back to the University Council and Management House their implementation. We also advise that in case, yes, we all agree that sanity must be restored back in our elections, but I also advise them that this is an issue that should be put forward as a proposal to the 85th Guild so that they can discuss, and if possible, the Constitution amended to include such reforms. Then two, whereas the students are ready to have our lectures. We reported to this university as early as Saturday to resume lectures, but it is unfortunate that nothing has been going on. We also demand that the university management, MWASA, MASA, and UNE, sit and exhaust dialogue so that we can resume lectures as soon as possible. We as the students' body have had far bigger disagreements with management, but we have managed to resolve them in the past. The next declaration I am about to make is also in line with the time we are going to give our fellow students who have not yet reported back to the university to do so for them to resume their lectures. As the Guild President, I am giving the university management an ultimatum of 48 hours effective midday today, that as of Friday midday, if we haven't resumed lectures and if the new Guild Constitution, Guild regulations have not yet been repealed, then we shall have nothing else to do but declare industrial action as a form of demand.
Thank you.
Just also to add on before I conclude, I also, in the strongest terms possible, condemn anyone from the university management who is thinking of intimidating or suspending students as they agitate for what is right. If anyone in the university administration do that, then we shall have a third demand. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Members, as we bring this meeting to a conclusion, and in light of the Guild President's closing full and extensive deliberations of this House, we regret the current situation in which our university has got trapped into. We condemn in the strongest terms the measures being taken by the University Council and management to adversely interfere with the affairs of the Student Guild politics. We wish to respond to them as follows. That interference is unacceptable. It will not go unchallenged. And we wish to also sound a very dire warning to the promoters of that idle document to effectively abandon the futile and dangerous course which they are pursuing. Indeed, as the Guild President has declared, it is not our intention to pursue the cause of confrontation with management. But if, in their wisdom, they consider that that is the path they have decided to set us on, then we will spare no effort to pursue it conclusively. Secondly, we want to express solidarity with the members of the Staff Academic Association, that is MWASA. We understand their demands. That is not an issue which we seek to intervene in as the Students' Guild leadership. However, our primary concern is to ensure that that standoff is adequately resolved so that the students of this university can settle and pursue academic scholarship, because this again is the very imperative as to why we are here, and that we do not expect any kind of negotiation with management on that. The ultimatum has been given in 48 hours. We expect them to communicate with clear clarity that the lecturers have effectively resumed teaching the students, and the classes have, as a result, commenced. Thirdly, that the 84th Guild Representative Council, which is the representative voice of the students' body of this university, will not be party to any process which seeks to legitimize an offensive, embarrassing, and idle document which the University Council wants to superimpose on the students of this university. We shall stop at nothing to assert our autonomy, our independence, and also to effectively communicate to the stakeholders of this university and the nation at large that the Student Guild leadership is seized with sufficient capacity, intelligence, and the competence to independently govern its affairs. Therefore, I want to conclude by categorically stating that the 48-hour ultimatum begins at exactly midday. It will expire Friday midday. If the university by Friday midday does not meet and satisfy all our demands, then indeed we shall be left with not any other option but to declare mass action by way of an industrial action. Members of the press, like I said, we are going to release a formal statement detailed and elaborate, which represents the issues that we are agitating for, the resolutions of this House, and the way forward. I want to thank you for your participation. We want to appreciate the members of the students' body, the gallery, for expressing solidarity with your leadership and for believing in it. Honorable members, I also appreciate you for hidden.
Speak in English.
Okay, the truth is, what is happening in the university, everyone is in fear. Not only the lecturers, not only the students, every worker, because they are uncertain of what is happening tomorrow to their jobs and their families. After, from the time the president came and appraised the vice chancellor, life has become so tough because now it's like the professor is no longer working for us, he's working for the government, for the president, because he does what the president wants, that he is working to make the president happy. But we are stakeholders in the university, that's what I think. We are stakeholders here, and we carry, I think, 90% or 100%, because the university cannot stay without us. And Mr. Professor Nange cannot be in his office leading nobody or supervising nobody. So what do we need to say? Let him come to the table, understand the lecturers, the staff workers, and let him treat each and everyone according to his capacity. That's what I think. That's my view. That's what I'm thinking. That's what the professor should do. But the moment he stays high, the more things will become. Because now that the lecturers are not in class, they are striking, staffs are locked. Today I've been in the library, you just enter, they are saying, they are seated there talking, they are telling you, enter. For us to have a lot, we are not at work. So everyone is entering, getting out anyhow. So to bring back the harmony, let him come down to us, let him come back down to the staff, let him listen to everyone. Those are characteristics of a leader, not being so high. Just a matter of listening and learning how to serve people. That's what I think.
Indefinitely suspended and then decided to totally withdraw. Needless to say, there are so many irregularities. I'm not the only student who has been affected, and I'm not the only person who has been affected by the ignoble happenings herein. You have seen by yourselves that we as a student body spoke out, and what we said were actually worthwhile. What we said were tangible things. What we said were very realistic things. Because right now in itself, Makerere as a whole, in its entirety, is in a state of what one would call quagmire. You really see everything is turning upside down, and this was definitely seen by very many from the very start. And what is happening right now, the suspensions of the Deus Camuños, the ridiculous policies that are being imposed on the guild house, all those are very lame in their entirety. And definitely as a person who has been here before, who has faced the wrath of one Nawangwe before, I must say I personally condemn it, and definitely when there is any form of activism that is brought on board, I won't hesitate to join, because I've been an activist all the while I've been here. And I must commend the 84th Guild House, because this is called for. This fight is a fight for a better tomorrow. Why? Because our motto in its essence says we build for the future. And if you build for the future, you have to build for generations. And it begins here. And if they are trampling on these constitutions just like that, you do not come and defecate on a constitution that people spent a milestone trying to build. People spent hours and days and months on end without, while trying to resolve issues here and there, and you just come on board and try to trample over all these things. So I really see if there is an industrial action that is called forth by the student body, it is worthwhile, it is something realistic, it is something that the whole world out there should see and actually hold in high ground, because it is called for, based on what is happening right now. I thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Obed Obeki Kokbot.
Yafe,